because they pop up sometimes. Of course, I'm wrong at the moment. Multiply is divide is. Oh, I'm totally backward. Divide is quotient. Multiply is product. Subtract is difference, which you see a lot in this unit, and the result from adding is sum. S-U-M, sum. So in order to do this one, I need to do a couple that will factor, and then I'll cancel out whatever will cancel out. So after factoring the ones that I can factor down, here I am, and let's see what cancels out. I got these x minus 3s that will cancel out. I got these x plus 7s that will cancel out. I've got some x plus 5s that will cancel out, and apparently in the end I'm left with the x minus 5 in the numerator and an x plus 1 in the denominator. So let's see what we got going on here. We've got a horizontal asymptote, which I haven't shown you how to do those without Desmos at this point, but it's totally based on the fact they're both first degree. So when it's both first degree, you just use the leading coefficient. So I know it's going to be at 1/2. And horizontal is always y equals, so y equals 1/2 will be that first one. You can type it in and see that it won't touch the y equals 1/2 line. The vertical asymptote, remember, it comes from your denominator not being able to be equal to 0. My denominator is 2x minus 4. What would be the restriction? I think most of y'all can tell it would be 2, because 2 times 2 would be 4, and 4 minus 4 would be 0. And you don't want no 0, so x cannot be 2. The vertical asymptote is at x equals 2. The restriction is x cannot equal 2. Because again, you put a 2 in that denominator, you're going to get 2 times 2, which is 4, minus 4, which is 0. And you can't divide by 0. Next up, this one we have to add 44. That's probably not too bad considering it's a drag and drop with 3 different parts of this. Especially on this one, I'm making you multiply both sides. This side, got to get a common denominator. This side needs x minus 5. And this side needs x plus 2. So you're going to need to do 2 box methods on this one. In the end, you're going to get like a 3 different part answer, and you'll need to be able to drag the correct parts in. So anyways, getting started with this, and again, be careful. Mr. Curtis will even mess this up going too fast. I've already messed one up today going too fast. 3x minus 5 is multiplying with x minus 5, which is going to give me a 3x squared, a minus 5x, a minus 15x, and a plus 15, which in total is 3x squared minus 20x plus 15. I am halfway done. 15, 20. Indicating negative 5 times negative 5 is definitely 25. Let's try not to make a mistake on the other side. So on the other side, I've got to multiply 6x plus 1 with x plus 2. No negatives, so already I feel a little bit more comfortable. I think the issue is, though, sometimes I just feel too comfortable, and I'm more likely to miss a little part of it. So I've got a 6x squared plus 13x plus 2. Remember, my job is to add these two together, and I'm done. So I'm almost done. 9x squared minus 7x and plus 17. Which ain't no 17s in the answer, so something's wrong, right? So, I still got 15 right there. It's 25, and 2 is 27. Thank you. Definitely take your time. Have your scratch paper out. Have you some room ready. Don't be trying to squeeze it in like the corner of a sheet of scratch paper. You want to make sure you give yourself every reason to get those right. How do you fix negative exponents? Remember, you just simply flip its location along with its base, so it'd be 1 over y to the third. Why did you have that question? Because basically, you're going to factor cancel out pieces, but it's a divide, so you know you're going to keep, change, flip. You got to fix your negative exponents. You got to flip those. So I'll have a m plus 7 to the second power in the denominator. I'm going to write it 2 times because it's second power. I'm going to go ahead and factor this part down. M plus 6 and m minus 2. None of these cancel at the moment, but I'm not concerned until I work it all the way out or simplify it. Then let me see if make sure something will cancel then. So again, I flip because they're negative exponents, but I gotta keep, change, flip. So I flip it twice and it ends up right back where it started. At that point, let's see if any cancel out. I know I'm on 2 different sides of my screen. The m minus 2's will cancel, the m plus 7's will cancel, and in the end, I'm simply left with the m plus 6 over m plus 7. I feel accomplished. So one of the review questions is an inverse question. And remember, if you just simply inverse each part of it, you can kind of see what the right answer is, especially when it's multiple choice. Like, you know, minus 9 is going to be plus 9. You know, x square rooted is going to turn into square. But remember, partial square root turns into whole thing squared. Long story short, though, let's actually do the math. Step 1, change f of x to y. Step 2, switch your x and your y. Let's isolate y for step 3. Get y by itself. You get rid of minus 9 first. And you get rid of square root again by squaring. And I got to square the whole side over here as we had earlier. Change y back to it, f of x, and you got it. So there was a tough issue on the test with kids plugging in a negative right here on this review question. Remember, you want to square the 3 and the negative. Negative 3 to the second power is positive 9. If you don't put the parentheses in Desmos, it will tell you negative 9 right there. And negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. So here's why, again, on a review question. 71.8% missed this a couple semesters ago. Maybe it's been better since I've been including this and started making these most missed questions. Gotta do g of negative 8. Negative 8 fits on this line because negative 8 is less than or equal to negative 3. So we plug in negative 8 right here. Negative a half times negative 8 is 4, and 4 minus 12 is, ironically, negative 8. I'm going to switch colors to do the other side of this here. 5 times g of negative 2. Negative 2 fits on this line because negative 2 is greater than negative 3. And here's why we had to do that last question. I'm squaring a negative number, which is going to produce a 4 there, which makes negative 16. And 30 minus 16 is 14. But I think what kids miss a lot is that number I told y'all back then. A lot of kids, and Curtis will forget at times, there's a times 5 on this one, which puts us at 70. So there's a negative 8 plus 70, which appears to be 62. Oh, so I'm getting like the difficult stuff. I'm doing fine. The little box method was throwing me for a loop. Box method had me in a chokehold. These are the questions that you're supposed to have today on the warm-up, but I gave the wrong code out. So if you missed Friday, it's important you know there's 2 restrictions here. X cannot be positive 2 or negative 5. Now, the one that cancels out is, again, a whole at negative 5. There's going to be a whole. The one that does not cancel out is a vertical asymptote. Now, vertical asymptote will be at 2 because you can't have 2 be at x. And then finally, the horizontal asymptote. As I mentioned earlier, when the degrees are the same, you could take the leading coefficient, but the denominator has x to the second power and the numerator has x to the first power. When the denominator is the bigger one, the bigger degree, the horizontal asymptote is automatically at 0. There's 3 parts of that rule if you're ever interested in doing that without Desmos. The only other case is when the numerator on the top has a larger degree. The answer is always no horizontal asymptote. And final or last 2 questions. Parker and Kristen could paint a locker room together in 9 hours. Remember, time together goes in the numerator. Parker is twice as fast as Kristen, so one of them is 2x. Let me make sure I set this up right. I'm going to call it Parker and Kristen. I need to go back and check and make sure I set it up. Parker's twice as fast. Yep, so Kristen takes twice as much time. So I do have it set up correctly. You put that in Desmos, you get the intersection at 13.5. And remember, Kristen takes twice as long. Multiply that 13.5 by 2. That was mean to put a 26 there. 26 and 27. And final question. Peter can mow the lawn in 1 hour, so we'll let Peter be person A. John can mow the same lawn in 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it looks like the answers are in hours, so 1 hour and 30 minutes is 1.5, not 1.3. If you put 1.3, you would have got the wrong answer. How long does it take them to mow the lawn together? So put X on top, and they're mowing 1 lawn. They're doing 1 job, because the job was to mow 1 lawn. Type that in, and you got your answer for how long. And obviously, it's going to take them less than 1 hour together.